Yo, RX back with another breakdown of UFC 317 Topuria versus Oliveira International Fight Week. We back with another breakdown of a pay-per-view that is weird, I guess is how I would describe it. Kind of weird, because you kind of gotta look at it in two different parts. If you just look at it for what the pay-per-view is, it's okay. It's not great. It's okay. It's a normal, fine UFC pay-per-view in 2025. But if you look at it under the microscope of International Fight Week, which we know is meant to be one of, if not the biggest cards of the year, it's not very good. It's extremely underwhelming. It's weak. It really does not live up to that moniker. And for being one of the biggest cards of the year, again, probably the biggest, the only one you can really debate with is the New York, the MSG card in November. This is super fucking weak compared to that, or compared to the standard of what International Fight Week is meant to be. And that's sad, because International Fight Week's meant to be the grand event, and it's lame this year. Kind of like it was last year to an extent. Like, it's kind of just lost its luster, but I guess it's kind of like the UFC at this point, so kind of just makes sense. So, again, the card's not that awful. It's not great, don't get me wrong. But, like, the prelims are pretty good. The actual prelims, like, that's a pretty solid 4 fights. The early prelims kind of suck. The main card's kind of weak. It's not a great card. Like, just to be blunt about it, it's not a super great card. Again, if it was not an International Fight Week, okay, it would be fine. It's like, whatever, it's something, let's go. But with the microscope of International fucking Fight Week, man, I don't know. I don't think it lives up to the hype of that. I think it's underwhelming, and I think it's kind of just one of the weakest IFWs of all time. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. And I hope I am. I hope this card's amazing, of course. We need a great card after back-to-back god-awful fight nights. We need finishes, more importantly. Will we actually get them? Who knows? Knock on wood, we do. We need them. Especially since the last good card we had was the last pay-per-view a few weeks ago. So hopefully this can get us back on track. It's meant to. It's International Fight Week. They did the Hall of Fame last night. They've done the whole fucking glitz and glam. So give us a good-ass fucking card, please. We need it. We need some finishes. So knock on wood, we get them. And, yeah, let's just fucking pray we get them. So let's pray we get a good card that surpasses all our expectations, and we get a great International Fight Week. So, with that being said, I can't think of anything else to say before getting into this breakdown, unless I am forgetting something, which I don't believe I am. So, as always, last thing I'll say before we get into the breakdown is, as always, please like, comment, and subscribe. 200 subs the goal by the end of 2025. And unless I'm going to say something which I don't believe I am, I think this is a weak IFW, but hopefully it surpasses all expectations. Let's find out. UFC 317 and National Fight Week breakdown. You ready? I know I am. Begin. 12 fights, as always. As it's kind of been the code lately, in Las Vegas, which is the always home ground for National Fight Week. And we will begin in the middleweight division with a debut battle to open a National Fight Week. No one understands why, but is the UFC. They don't fucking make any sense. They never have or will. As we begin international fight, I guess night would make more sense, with a debut battle that's had a few changes, and we'll talk about that in a second. As we begin the night with a bona fide Contender Series fight, yes, everyone agrees this is stupid, but between Jackson the Moose McVey versus Christopher El Tanky Ewert. I have no idea how to say that name, but it doesn't really matter. What the fuck is this? Why is this Contender Series fight opening up International Fight Week? I'm gonna explain to you why, and it still makes no sense, so let's get into it. Why is this fight happening? Because originally Jackson was meant to fight Rodrigues Dumas, but Rodrigues had to pull out of the fight because he couldn't get his ankle monitor taken off till Thursday. I swear to God, I'm not lying. So he had to pull out. Now, Jackson needed a new opponent, and they pulled a dude from the first episode of Contender Series this year who's already had a fight booked, which was Ewert. Now we have our first fight of the night for International Fight Week, a debut battle that really should be on Contender Series. Oh, fucking joy. Let's talk about it. I'm not gonna say a lot here, but let's talk about it. We'll begin for our first fighter International Fight Week, Jackson McVey. Jackson, of course, making his UFC debut, 4-0 in the LFA, 6-0 overall. He has been booked for this fight longer than his opponent. He had 3 knockouts and 3 submissions in his career. He is 26 years old. His last fight was June 13th, so he fought not that long ago, so that's kind of good. I've heard a few decent things about this guy since he's been signed to UFC. Again, 6-0 prospect, so maybe he's a real prospect. We'll see. Yeah, I can't really say much else about this guy. I've never seen him a day in my life before he got this fight booked. So, we'll see. Hopefully he's good. Hopefully one of these two guys are good, because, God, hopefully this fight ain't completely pointless. So, but yeah, Jackson McVey, welcome to UFC. The UFC clearly likes this dude. They were gonna feed Rodrigues Dumas to him, so let's see if this dude's any good. Never went 15 minutes, never went past round 1. Let's see if this dude's any good. Welcome to the UFC, man. And then for his opponent, Christopher Ewert, 7-0, 31 years old, much older than his opponent, with a little bit more experience. His last fight was January 12th. He is stepping in on shorter notice than his opponent. He was meant to fight on the first episode of the Contender Series versus Yuri, but now he gets moved to a few months earlier. And now he bypasses the Contender Series and gets a contract. Not really heard anything about Ewert. Not much hype for him. Maybe he's good. No real idea. He has 5 knockouts, 2 decisions from Chile. Maybe this dude's good. Maybe this dude's not. He was going to be on Contender Series, and that's usually where they do put the better prospects. So maybe this dude's good. We'll see. Not really sure. Again, hopefully he's a real prospect. Hopefully he's good in a pointless fight, but who truly knows? Let's find out, man. Let's find out. Not really much else I can say about this fight. It's literally a Contender Series fight. So, not much I can say. The betting on his first fight are not on Tapology, but I believe Ewert is a little bit of a favorite. I think he's like minus 160 last time I checked, or something like that, which I don't agree. It should be a pick'em, because how could you really make a bet here for 2 dudes we know nothing about? Like, even if you do tape study, like, these 2 dudes are getting on the big stage on short notice. So you're kind of throwing darts at a board, in my opinion. So it's pretty much a Contender Series fight. So we'll see. I can't really make an educated pick here because I know neither. I've heard a little bit of good about Jackson. I've heard really nothing about Ewert. So we're kind of just throwing darts at a board and praying something sticks. Who am I going to pick here? Give me Jackson. I've heard better things about him. He's younger. He's been on the card longer. The UFC probably thinks he's a little bit better since he was getting the opportunity and Ewert was going to be on Contender Series. So, I don't know. Again, just throw a dart at the board and pray it lands. I feel like a lot of people are going to drop this one because they don't know who either of these guys are. I don't blame you. Hopefully one of them are good. Ideally, both are good, but, wishful thinking. But, hopefully one of them has to be good. Hopefully this is a good fight. These two come out there and overperform, kind of like a Yasmin Howgary, Asmin Lucindo level fight. Unlikely, I know, but we gotta pray for something good here. So let's see. Hopefully this fight's not a complete joke, because if it is, it just makes UFC look dumber than they already look. So let's fucking find out, man. Who's my pick going to be here? I'll go Jackson by decision. I know nothing about either of these guys. Again, what I just read to you on their profiles is as much as I know. So, hopefully one of these guys are good. If not both of them. What's the height and all that? 6'4", 6'1". No reach for Ewert. Yeah, 50-50 fight. Who fucking knows? Give me Jackson McVey, I guess, by decision. Hopefully it's a good fight. Hopefully we get a good fight here. Hopefully one of these guys are good, and it's not a complete waste of time to begin International Fight Night. So, let's find out. Give me Jackson McVey by decision, and what should hopefully, knock on wood, be a surprisingly good fight. I have my doubts, but you never know. I'll give him a chance. Don't disappoint. Jackson McVey by decision to begin the night. Someone has to lose their O. Let's see who it is. After that, we go to our second fight of the night, our second fight of the early prelims, and our third and final debut of the night. Another short notice fight, and I think there's one more, but this is the last one for a long time. As we have our second fight of the night in the heavyweight division, our co-main event of the early prelims, our last short notice replacement till the main card. We head to heavyweight for a fight that should be interesting. I have a little more intrigue and a little bit more knowledge into this one. Still not a lot, but I'm still intrigued. As we have Jhonata Diniz versus Alvin Hines. This is kind of a very interesting one. Hines is stepping in for Justin Tafa, who pulled out a few weeks ago. So, actually, Diniz was going to be on the main card against Tafa, but Tafa pulled out, and now he's on the early prelims. Kind of payback, motherfucker. So, yeah, Tafa's out, Hines steps in, and I think this is a lot harder fight than Tafa, I would imagine, because Justin Tafa's dog shit. So let's see what happens. Low-level heavyweight. Let's see who wins. We'll begin with the UFC veteran here, our first fighter of the night, not making their debut, Jhonata Diniz, 8-1, 34 years old, 2-1 in the UFC, 1-0 in the Contender Series. In his first two UFC fights, he knocked out Austin Lane and beat Carl Williams. Not a great fight, neither great performances, but what can you do? And then in his last fight, he got completely fraud-checked and dominated by Marcin Tybura. And now this is his first fight since November of last year. Jhonata's not very good. He hits hard, his striking is okay, but outside of that, he's pretty terrible. Like in that Austin Lane fight, he got dominated in round 1, and if lucky, every fight starts on the feet, or every round starts on the feet, because Austin Lane would have held him down for 3 rounds. And then against Carl Williams just really could never get on the inside with him, and I believe he was trying to be a striker with him anyway. So, and that's his 2 wins in the UFC, and then he fought Tybura and made Tybura look like goddamn Khabib. So, What did that tell you? Again, Diniz, it's kind of funny he was going to fight Justin Tafa since he's not much different than Tafa. He's just a big dude who can strike subpar and has a lot of power. If you try to grapple him, he's going to shit the bed and he has no idea what to do. So, again, Austin Lane was beating him up until he got that knockout. Carl Williams is not even a UFC anymore. He's so boring. And Marcin Tybura, we know, is a really below-level fucking guy in the division. So, I just don't think Diniz is very good. He's 34 years old. He's been fraud-checked. He has 0 grappling and 0 cardio. Again, he has good power. He's a decent striker. Outside of that, not really much to write home about Diniz. Just another fraud heavyweight to throw on top of the pile. Not very good. Not very good at all. To talk about his opponent, Alvin Hines, the debutant, the last one of the card. 7-0, 33 years old, making his UFC debut, stepping in for Justin Tafa, as we said, coming from the LFA, where he is, of course, undefeated. No really notable wins. I didn't say that for Jackson or the other guy because they didn't have one either. I guess this guy did beat Philip Latu, who was on a Contender Series, I believe. Unless I'm getting him mixed up with someone. Yeah, this dude was on Contender Series, so take that as you will. He has 3 KOs, 3 submissions, 1 decision. A pretty old dude to be joining the UFC, but he is at heavyweight. Coming from the Jungle Gym, where the fuck that is, Minnesota, I guess. Heard a few things about this dude. Not a lot, not really anything amazing. So maybe he's good. Never know. Good possibility he is. Good possibility he isn't. It's heavyweight, so you never really know. Let's see. Just like I said with the other debutants, let's see what this guy can actually do. Made his debut, short notice, in National Fight Week against a guy who is 2-1, a guy who had a lot of hype at one point. Let's see what Alvin can do. Welcome to UFC, buddy. Let's see what you got. The betting odds for his fight don't think he has a lot, having Jhonata Diniz minus 215 to plus 165. I think the odds are even bigger since they were last updated here. I think Diniz is like minus 300 now, which I don't really agree with. I'd probably have Diniz minus 200 on the dot. Like, yeah, you could make a case he probably should win this, but can you be confident when he's not really good? I don't know. Let's see. 6'2", 6'4", 79. Ooh, that reach advantage kind of crazy. 260 to 253 and a half. This is a tight one. I think this one's a little bit closer than people think because A, Jhonata ain't good, and B, we don't know how good Alvin is. So we'll see. It's low-level heavyweight. It could go either way. It's very hard to trust either side here. I'd say, again, Jhonata probably should be minus 200, and I get why he is such a big favorite, but again, low-level heavyweight, and especially if Hines comes out with a grappling game plan, gonna be risky. So I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. And who am I gonna pick here? I think I'm gonna lean the underdog. I think I'm gonna lean Hines. If he comes out there for a grappling game plan, especially since he has 3 submissions on his record, he could beat Jhonata. Jhonata has no grappling at all. That dude cannot grapple. He has no cardio. He has no heart. I think I'm gonna lean the underdog here. I think I'm gonna lean Hines to get the win here. Again, if he goes out there for a grappling game plan, good chance he can win. But if he goes in there trying to strike with him, yeah, more than likely he's gonna get knocked the fuck out. So, but he does have knockouts on his record as well, and Jhonata's not the greatest striker in the world, so it's 50-50. I think it's a very close fight, and I think I'm gonna pick I think the only underdog on the card. Well, unbiasedly underdog on the card. I'm gonna pick. Give me Alvin Hines by decision, probably. I don't think he's gonna submit him. I think if he wins, it's gonna be a. Well, actually, I guess he could finish him. It's very possible, but I don't know. I think I could see him grinding out a decision, kind of laying on him, getting him down. I don't know how he fights at all, to be honest. So We'll see. But, yeah. Give me Alvin Hines by decision. I think I'm going to lean the underdog here. I don't think Diniz is good. I like seeing those 3 submission wins on Hines' record. Give me the underdog. Give me the debutant. Give me Alvin Hines by decision to upset the favorite. Give Diniz another L. And maybe give heavyweight an interesting prospect. So, give me Alvin Hines by decision. My first underdog is a night. We'll see if it burns me or if I look smart at the end of it. Give me Alvin Hines by decision. Not really much else to say. Maybe, again, I think the best underdog on the card, to be honest. So, we'll see. We'll see. After that, we go to our third fight of the early prelims, our early prelim main event. And what a one-sided fight this is, Jesus Christ. As we have in our featured early prelim in the welterweight division, no more debutantes, no more short notice for a while. Just a normal fight that was booked a few weeks ago, and it's going to be brutal. It's going to be very one-sided. As we have in our featured early prelim, Niko the Hybrid Price versus Jacobe Smith. Yeah, depending on they ain't hiding how obvious this fight is, so I probably won't waste much time talking about it, but I'll still talk about it a tiny bit. Decent fight, pretty out of nowhere fight, but it does make sense if you really think about it, so let's talk about it. We'll begin with the veteran of these two, the guy who probably hates International Fight Week after what happened a few years ago, Niko Price, 16-8, 35 years old, with a 8-8-2 UFC record, weird-ass UFC record. His wins have been in the UFC: Brandon Thatch, Alan Jouban, George Sullivan, Randy Brown, Tim Means, James Vick, and Alex Oliveira and Alex Morono. His losses have been Vicente Luque, Abdulrazak Al-Hassan, Geoff Neal, Vicente Luque, Michel Pereira, Phil Rowe, Robbie Lawler, and Themba Gorimbo. And he had 2 no contests with Cowboy and Alex Morono. Niko is not great anymore, if he ever was to begin with. I get we always kind of say that in hindsight, especially after a dude becomes washed, but if you really look back on Niko's career, was he ever that good? His best career win is Randy Brown, which I guess has aged amazingly, but some of his losses are kind of weak. Like, he's just never really been that great of a fighter, and now you add a lot of damage onto a very old body. Like, 35 years old now, a lot of damage. Like, never really been that good to begin with. Kind of just a brawler. Kind of like a welterweight Darren Elkins, but with even less talent. I don't know, like, I've never been super sold on Niko. Like, again, what was his peak? Like, he never really went on a winning streak. So, and especially lately, since the pandemic, he's got 2 wins and 5. He's 2-5-1, so what does that tell you? So, and I guess the most memorable moment of his career is probably going to be being Robbie Lawler's last win in his retirement fight back on International Fight Week a few years ago. So, again, he probably hates International Fight Week, and now he's kind of just being used as cannon fodder here against another guy who's probably going to put him out quickly. Good luck, Niko. Good fucking luck. So, again, you just have added a lot of damage onto a fucking body that was like a guy who's never really had a lot of talent anyway, and just kind of a brawler. You kind of get what Niko Price is at this point. Just not very good. 2 wins over the last couple years. Now just being used as cannon fodder. Lost to Themba Gorimbo, who's dog shit. Kind of feel bad for him. And then to talk about his opponent, the very hyped up Jacobe Smith, the guy who's getting handed a layup of layups here. 10-0, 29 years old, 1-0 in the UFC, 1-0 on the Contender Series, coming off the Contender Series. In his UFC debut to begin 2025, he ran through Preston Parsons in 1 minute and 13 seconds like he was nothing. And now he's getting a jump up, but not by much, to a very washed Niko Price. Yeah, Jacobe Smith looks like a very good fighter. He has good striking, good power, good grappling. He looks like a very well-rounded guy. Fucking 29 years old, 10-0, still pretty young, still developing, still getting better. Dude's good. Dude has looked really good. I know, small sample size, I've only seen 2 of his fights, but he's looked fucking flawless in those 2 fights. So, I know, we fall for this fool's gold all the time, especially at welterweight. Oban Elliott, we're looking at you. But I don't know, man. Jacobe looks good. He looks well-rounded. Looks like a good fighter. Let's see if he really is. Not very much else to say about a guy who's had a small sample size and has really never had a problem in any of his fights. Jacobe Smith, really damn good. Pretty simple. The betting odds first, I have Jacobe Smith minus 1,400 plus 800. Actually, I think he's a way bigger favorite than that, right? Like, I know at one point he did hit minus 4,000, but I think he's dropped down a bit. I think he's like minus 2,000 by now, which I think that's probably pretty fair. He should win this fight. Niko is super washed, and his chin's gone, his durability is gone, his power's gone. He never really had power. His talents got weaker. He's just not really that great anymore, and fighting a guy who's much younger, much less damage-ridden, and very, 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 very good and well-rounded. Good luck, Niko. You're gonna fucking need it, man. You're truly gonna fucking need it. So, give me Jacobe Smith by knockout first, my lock of the night. He should run through Niko, get his 8th or 9th career knockout win, and yeah, it should truly be that simple for Jacobe. Again, Niko, an old ass Robbie Lawler ran through him with ease. What is a guy who's much younger with probably more power and better gonna do 2 years later after that? Give me Jacobe Smith by knockout in the first, lock of the night. He should win this fight easily. It's truly that simple. Like, the UFC's handing him a layup. I think he's gonna lay that fucking ball in and easily score another easy win here. So, give me Jacobe Smith by knockout in the first, layup, giving him a really old Niko Price. Only gonna end in one way, the guy being the biggest favorite in UFC history and getting a easy second career win, staying undefeated in the UFC. So, bang. Those were the early prelims. Not very good. First fight's a Contender Series fight, second fight's low-level heavyweight, third fight's a murder. Not great, not terrible. Could be better, could be worse. They're early prelims. They end good, start bad. What can you do? So, yeah. But now we get to the actual prelims, which look like a fucking banger. 2 good fights, 2 questionable fights. Can't complain. I'm excited for 2 fights on here, and one of them's the opening one of the prelims, so I cannot wait for that. So let's not waste any more time. 3 early prelims done. They're okay, not amazing, not bad, whatever. Let's get to the prelims, which will look pretty decent on paper. Hopefully they're good in execution. As we begin in the lightweight division, a very important weight class on the card tonight. As we begin with a banger that probably should have happened already, but I'm happy we're getting it now because this is going to be lit. As we have to open the prelims, probably should have got moved to the main card, but whatever. Starting the prelims at lightweight, Terrance, T-Rex, McKinney versus Viacheslav, Slava Claus, Borshchev. We got a really good one here. A finish is promised. It's a Terrance McKinney fight, so you know someone's getting finished. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be real fucking good, man. What a way to begin the prelims. Probably could have been the main card opener. This is gonna be great. I cannot wait. 2 finishers, 2 strikers, no grappling. Let's just fight. Let's talk about Terrance McKinney. We'll begin, of course, like I just said, with the T-Rex, Terrance McKinney, 16-7, 30 years old, 6-4 in UFC. No real point of going down the UFC career, because what is there really to say? No real point of going down the UFC career, to be honest, because what there to really say? Either he knocked out the guy, or he got knocked out by the guy. Has not went to decision yet in his MMA career. Has either been finished or got finished. Never went into round 3. No cardio, no grappling, no fight IQ. Just hit hard and hope the other guy drops first. It's worked more times than it hasn't. It's only hasn't worked against Dober, Bonfim, Sadikov, and Rybovics, which are some fine guys to lose to. None of his wins are that amazing. I don't know how he beat Faraz Viam, to be honest, in hindsight. Or Matt Frivola, ever since his wins have kind of been kind of weak. Gonzalez, Breed, and Murat Hazovic. This could be his first good win in a while, so we'll see. But, yeah, not a lot to say about Terrance McKinney's UFC career. Again, either he got knocked out, or he knocked out the other guy. That's the long and short of the T-Rex's UFC career. That's why we love him. He doesn't go past round 2. And either he's going down or his opponent's going down. That's why I love T-Rex, man. He's just awesome. To talk about his opponent, another guy who's just awesome, Slava Claus Borshchev, 8-5-1, 33 years old, from Team Alpha Male, 3-4-1 in the UFC. His UFC career has been really weird. He won on Contender Series against Chris Duncan, which has aged really well. His only wins in UFC have been Dakota Bush, Machate, and James Lolantop. 3 guys not in UFC anymore, at least 2 of them aren't. And his losses have been Mark Diakese, Mike Davis, Chase Hooper, and Tom Nolan. Not great O's. Chase Hooper's understandable. With the other 3, he probably should have won those fights. And then he did have a draw with Nazim Sadikov, which I guess has aged pretty well in hindsight, so I guess what can you really do there? So I guess he did do some pretty good work around this time. I guess even though he did kind of get dropped by Chase Hooper, which I will bring up again soon. I don't know, is Slava that good? Not really. His kickboxing is pretty solid, but he kind of got dropped by Chase Hooper, so kind of take that as you will. His defensive grappling is shit. His offensive grappling is not much to speak of. He's not very good. He's truly not. He's fun. He's very fun and entertaining. But overall, just skill-wise, there's not a lot to speak of. Slava, power, kickboxing, that's about it. So, long and short of it with Slava. The bang on first fight, I have Terrance McKinney minus 195 to plus 155. Those odds are a little much on T-Rex, a guy who can be very untrustworthy a lot of the time. I think you could have McKinney down to minus 160. A little bit closer of odds. I still think he should be the favorite. I do think he is the one who's going to win this fight. But you could easily make a case for him being a smaller favorite, because again, almost minus 200. Terrance McKinney, the guy who's not trustworthy at all. We're kind of being risky there, so I get it. Again, I agree, he should win. But Terrance McKinney minus 200? That's scary business, so I wouldn't put a lot of eggs in that basket, even if I think he's going to win. you can never be too sure of T-Rex. So, but the funny thing about it is, who gives a fuck who wins? Someone's gonna get knocked out in the first 2 rounds, and it's gonna be amazing. So, I cannot wait. This is gonna be a banger. This is not gonna go past 2 rounds, if it even goes past round 1. And my pick for this, I am gonna go, even if I don't think he should be minus 200. He should still win this fight. So give me the T-Rex by knockout round 1. I think if Chase Hooper dropped you, I think Terrance McKinney should put you out. And, yeah, give me Terrance McKinney by knockout in the first. Could Slava win this fight? Yes, he could clip Hooper like Esteban did. Or if he went in there for grappling game plan, even though I think Terrance is getting a little bit better at grappling. We'll see. If this fight goes past round 1, it might not be very good because these two don't have good cardio. So knock on wood, we get a quick finish, so we don't have to deal with that. So give me Terrance McKinney by knockout in the first, and what should be a banger to begin the prelims. Someone's going to get finished. Cannot wait. And give me Terrance McKinney by knockout in the first. I think, again, if Chase Hooper could drop you, I don't see why Terrance McKinney couldn't. Sorry, Slava, but give me Terrance McKinney by knockout in the first. I think I've picked that for every single one of his UFC fights, so why stop now when I think that's going to happen? So, Terrance, knockout, round 1. Let's do it. After that, we go to one of the worst fights on the card, not because they're women, because it's a shitty fight. If they are ranked, only one of these females are actually a fighter, the other is just a model. As we have in our second fight of the prelims, our worst fight of the prelims, maybe counting the early prelims, you can make a debate. As we have in our second fight of the prelims, somehow above Terrance McKinney, I will never understand. In the top 15 of flyweight, we have Viviane Araujo versus Tracy Cortez. Oh boy, what a banger do we have here. A 38-year-old grandma versus a shitty supermodel. Oh joy. Not gonna say much here. I think we all know Cortez is more than likely just gonna lay on Araujo for 15 boring minutes. Like, I'm gonna cheer for Araujo, and I'm gonna put my pick in as Araujo because I don't have any respect for Cortez. But yeah, more than likely Cortez is just gonna lay on her for 15 minutes. Like, let's just be honest about it. Like, I get Vivi did look good in her last fight, but that was against a terrible Karine Silva. She's 38 years old. She's been held down before. But I think Hibas held her down and shit. If it stays on the feet, she'll win easily. But it has to stay on the feet, and with Cortez, it's not going to. So, if she can stuff the takedowns and maybe get on top or keep it standing, or Ujo can win this fight. But more than likely, Tracy is just going to take her down and lay on her for 15 boring minutes, so what can you do? So, yeah, who do I actually think is going to win? Tracy Cortez. Who is my pick, or who am I going to put my pick in as and pray they win? Vivi. I want to see Vivi win. I want to see her beat up Cortez, because Cortez is a model, not a fighter. But more than likely, she's not going to win. So I'll take the L here. I just have no respect for Cortez. So give me Vivi by decision in what should be a shitty fight, because Cortez is just going to lay on a grandma for 15 boring minutes. But that's a Tracy Cortez fight. Or Ujo by decision. Boring fight. More than likely going to take an L. I don't mind. I pick fighters, not models. After that, we go to our co-main event of the prelims. A fucking banger. And I mean banger. Might make no sense as booking-wise, but holy shit, it is a banger in the featherweight division. Our co-main event in the prelims. The definition of a if you don't know, now you know fight. A fucking banger between two great, fun prospects in what should be a banger. Again, I just can't say that enough times. Again, if you don't know, now you know. Watch this fight. Great co-main event of the prelims. As we have the Hurricane Hyder Amil versus Jose Delgado. What a fucking banger. Again, does it make any sense? No. I'll be honest with you, it makes no sense. Odds, makes no sense. Matchmaking wise, Hyder has won, I think, 3 fights, or 2 or 3 fights in his UFC career so far. Jose's 1-0. One guy is close to your top 15. One dude's only on his 2nd fight. So yes, this fight makes 0 sense. But also, who gives a fuck? It's a great fight, and I'm super excited for it. So I guess the pros and cons are kind of even. It makes no sense, but the fight's gonna be fucking amazing and could easily be 5 a night. So do we really care that much? I don't. So I really don't. So let's just shut up, sit back, and enjoy this banger between 2 great featherweight prospects. Someone has to lose their momentum, sadly. Who is it gonna be? Let's find out. I'll begin with the more experienced fighter, UFC-wise and just in general in this fight. The guy who kind of is taking this fight for no reason. Hyder, Amil, 11-0, 35 years old, 3-0 in the UFC, coming out of Contender Series a few years ago. And in the UFC, since getting that contract, he has 3 wins versus Fernie Garcia, Jiang Li, and William Gomez. Hyder is good but crazy. He has a really crazy style that is kind of controlled chaos in a way. He's not very the most. He's not. It's kind of like what I said about Niko Price, but he's actually kind of decent. He's kind of just controlled chaos. He kind of throws technique and all that shit out the window and just wants to fight. That's what he did against Fernie Garcia. That's what he did against Jiang Li. I wouldn't say that's what he did against William Gomez. More against William Gomez, all he did was just drown him. And now he's 3-0 going into his 4th UFC fight against a very tough young kid, inexperienced Jose Delgado. Hyder is pretty good, but he's beatable. I think. Like, again, a lot of people think he lost that Gomez fight. I don't fully agree. I think he did win that fight, but it was close. Now he's going to another tough fight with another tough guy in Delgado. A guy who, again, like Hyder is not... He's really good, and he's going to be a pain to beat, but he is beatable. If we have seen him get cracked. His cardio is not strong. His grappling is decent. He's beatable. He's very good. Again, he's going to be tough to beat, especially for a young kid like Delgado. But it's possible. It's very possible. Again, a lot of people think Gomez beat him, who's ass. So take that as you will. And he's a 35-year-old undefeated dude, which is kind of weird. You really never see someone that old with still a decent record, so take that as you will. I like Hyder. I think he's very fun, but I don't think he's unbeatable. And I'm not going to call him a fraud check, because the dude is good. But this dude's taking a really risky fight for no reason against a tough kid like Delgado, who could beat him, because Hyder is beatable. It's risky. I respect it. I respect the risk taker, but I don't know why he took this fight. But it's going to be a great one. It's going to be a really interesting one. We'll see what Hyder can do. Another win here, you'd have to give him a top 15 shot, but gotta win it first. Can he? We'll see. He is from the Diaz camp, I believe, so he is tough. But how tough? How good, really? Let's find out. I like Hyder. He's very good. But how far can he really go with the style that he fights at? To talk about his opponent, the less experienced but still very good and kind of look like brothers, Jose Delgado, 9-1, 27 years old, from the MMA lab, 1-0 in the UFC, undefeated on Contender Series where he got his contract. Jose looks to be very good. He's a finisher. He has a lot of power. His grappling's good. He looks to be very good. Still don't agree with his matchmaking, because all he's done is beat Connor Matthews, who's garbage. But I guess the UFC sees something in him. Again, an MMA lab fighter, who are usually very good. O'Malley, Jared Cannonier, Marcus McGee, Kyler Phillips. Add Delgado to that list. He's a very good prospect. The problem is he's still in the prospect phase when compared to a guy like Hyder. I think we can kind of all agree Hyder is actually good by now. But Delgado is still questionable. Like, I think he's good, but I had to put the word think in front of that because we really don't know yet. So, again, I still don't know why 1-0 dude's fighting a 3-0 dude. I still think the matchmaking is crazy, but maybe the UFC sees something we don't. I think Jose's very good, but is he ready for a fight like this? I don't know. Again, he's well-rounded, kind of like Hyder. Again, is he ready for a fight like this? I don't know. I truly don't know. He's still young in his career, so worst case scenario, this is just a learning lesson for him. But, guess we'll have to wait and see, shall we? Should be interesting. Should be very interesting. Again, the main question, is he ready for a fight like this? The Diniz first fight are actually pretty interesting to look at with all the context I've just given you. Delgado minus 155 to plus 125. That's interesting. I'm probably gonna pick Delgado. I do think Delgado might be the better overall fighter when it comes to a technical fight. But should he be the favorite here? I don't know. That's very questionable. I would say this should be a pick'em. Both guys are very good. Both guys are very crazy fighters. And it's going to be a very interesting fight. It's going to be a close fight. It's probably going to be a close split decision. I struggle to say Delgado minus 155. I just think that's a little much for a dude who's a little unproven compared to a guy like Amil, who has been proven to be pretty good at this point. I don't know. It's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. It's a really good fight. I'm excited for this one. Again, the matchmaking makes no sense, but who cares? These two are gonna have a banger. They're both really fun fighters. This should be a pick'em in my opinion. But who am I going with overall? After talking about this fight for way too long at this point, more than likely, give me Jose Delgado. I think he's gonna be able to pull this one out. I'm gonna go Delgado by decision. I think he can weather the early storm of Amil and kind of have him gas out. And then kind of take over slowly at that point. Because I think, unless he goes into the firefight with Amil, which is a really worrying strategy, then might not end well, usually doesn't. But if he goes in there with a smarter game plan than Amil, because we know what Hyder is going to do, then I think Delgado can take this. So, 50-50 fight, you could make a good case for picking Amil, that Delgado's just inexperienced and not ready. But give me Jose Delgado. Give me the guy who I trust a little more with a sound game plan. Give me Jose Delgado by decision, and what should be a fucking banger. 50-50 fight. Makes no sense matchmaking wise, but it's gonna be great. I don't like picking against Amil. I haven't picked against Amil yet, but I have not picked against Delgado in his 2 fights either. Gotta pick against someone. Give me the guy I trust more for game plan. Again, give me Jose Delgado by decision. It's gonna be a great fight. I am very excited for it, but I don't know. I just worry about Hyder more than I worry about Delgado, so give me the younger, less experienced, but I think smarter fighter, Jose Delgado by decision. After that, we go to our featured early preliminary main event of the evening in the middleweight division. Not a top 15 fight, because one guy got taken out of the top 15 for inactivity, but it is still a pretty big fight in that division, and the winner will probably be close to the top 15. This should be interesting, even if it's a couple years late and a weird fight to try and predict. We have in our featured prelim in the middleweight division, I think it's the only time on the card, because that fight. So, for our second time on the night, we head to middleweight for a featured prelim between the Joker, Jack Hermansson, versus Gregory, Obama, or Robocop, Rodrigues. Yes, you heard that correctly. Jack Hermansson is back from the dead, and he's fighting. I'm shocked to see him as well, because he never actually fights, but he is back now. So welcome back, Jack. Not in the top 15 for the first time in a long time, so he did get taken out of the top 15 for inactivity. Now he's fighting a RoboCop coming off a loss. This should be interesting. This should be an interesting one. Should be a hard one to predict. Could see a lot of people picking this one wrong. Let's talk about it. We'll begin with the guy who's actually been ranked at times in his career, even though he's getting very old and kind of hard to trust. The 37-year-old Jack Hermansson, 11-6 in his UFC career. His wins have been Scott Askham, Alec Nicholson, Brad Scott, Thalis Ladies, GM3, David Branch, Jacobe, Kelvin Gastelum, Edmund Shavazian, Chris Curtis, and Joe Pyfer. He has lost to Cesar Ferreira, Thiago Santos, Jed Cannonier, Marvin Vittori, Sean Strickland, and Roman Dolidze. Hermansson, I was never really high on Hermansson. I never thought he was a great fighter. He really has no striking. His grappling is decent, but he has been out-grappled at times by guys like Dolidze and Vittori. He did kind of have a really good turn back to clock performance against Joe Pyfer, but I think that's more Joe Pyfer's kind of dog shit more than Jack Hermansson's good. And now we put a lot of inactivity on a 37-year-old body who's taken a lot of damage. Kind of what I said with Niko Price. It's kind of worrying. Not really much to say about Jack, because again, we really don't know what we're going to get from him at this point. He has not fought in a year and a half, and he's getting a pretty tough match bear with RoboCop. We know he's not going to get better at this point, he's only going to get worse. He probably still has no striking. His grappling is still good, his cardio is alright. Like, he's a okay fighter. I never thought he was top 15 level, to be honest. Like, his best win is what? Kelvin Gastelum and Jacobe. So, take that as you will. I don't know, I'm just not really high on Jack. Never was. And now, again, you add a lot of age and damage onto a 37-year-old middleweight who's very one-dimensional. It's kind of worrying. It's truly pretty worrying. Maybe he'll turn back to clock again here against RoboCop. We'll see. Only time will tell. So, I guess let's wait and find out. It's good to have him back, because it sucks to see people on the roster just not fight. But let's see what Jack can actually do here. Does he still have it? Or is eventually Father Time going to beat him? Good to have him back, though. Not wasting a roster spot on a guy who doesn't fight. To talk about his opponent, Obama Gregory Rodrigues. 33 years old. I thought he was older. 16-6 in his MMA career, 7-3 in the UFC. He was on Contender Series, did not get a contract from there. In the UFC, his wins have been... Let me turn off the grappling matches, because no one gives a shit about that boring garbage. He has beat Dusko Sidorovic, Jung Young Park, that has aged well. I think he beat Armin Petrosian, so really he only has 2 losses in my opinion. Julian Marquez, Chidi and Joe Kwani, Dennis Tulian, Brad Tavares, and Christian Leroy Duncan. His only 2 losses in the UFC, I think, that are legitimate are Bruno Ferreira and Jared Cannonier. RoboCop's kind of always had the same problem in the UFC. Like, if you look at his 2 losses, he has really bad cardio and really no chin. He has a lot of heart. Like, he's a dude with a lot no chin, but a lot of heart, which is kind of counterbalances itself at times, like the Jung Young Park fight. His grappling's really good. Like, if like he can go 15 minutes if it's a calm fight. If he can like what he did with COD, if he can lay you on the ground and kind of just torture you, he can fucking win that every day of the week. He has enough cardio to do that, and he is a really good grappler. But it's when he has to go in a long striking match, like the Cannonier fight, where he just broke. Like, when he didn't get to finish and Cannonier kept moving, RoboCop kind of just fell apart. I think he mentally broke, and it was kind of just over for him from there. he just really does not have the cardio to go 25 minutes. And again, in a fight where you make him use a lot of energy early, he's going to be gassed very quickly. So, but outside of those two problems, his chin and his cardio, he's pretty good. His striking is solid. His power is insane. Again, his grappling is good. He has a good ground and pound and submission game. The dude is pretty solid. Like, he is very solid, but those two kinks in his armor, the cardio and the chin at middleweight, is enough to keep you outside the top 15. So he's good. It's always good to see RoboCop. The man's never gonna be in a bad fight, but he's also very worrying because he's untrustworthy with that chin and cardio. Now again, this fight's probably not his chin that we're worried about. It's probably that cardio. So, because Jack Hermansson ain't gonna KO him. That Jack Hermansson has not ever KO'd anybody. It's the cardio we're worried for. So, and he's gonna have to grapple. So can he either A, keep it standing, or B, win the grappling transitions? Let's see. Again, my English ain't very good, but Gregory Rodrigues is very good. But again, those two kinks in his armor just will stop you from going far. The betting odds for this fight are a little concerning, but I do understand them to an extent. They do got Gregory Rodrigues minus 185 to plus 155. I get it. I truly do. I do think RoboCop's a better fighter here, and he has been more active compared to Hermansson, who's, again, not active at all. I think RoboCop's more well-rounded, but again, it's just kind of worrying to try and trust RoboCop. He should win. On paper, he should win, but he should have won his last fight. He should have won against Bruno Ferreira. So he's just a guy who really drops these fights that he should win, and he's lost on Contender Series to Jordan fucking Wright. So he's just a very worrying guy to try and predict at this point, and especially pick. So the good thing, they are giving him a kind of a favorable matchup against a guy who's just going to try and grapple him, and RoboCop should, knock on wood, should be able to either keep it on the feet or reverse him. So we'll see if that's true. I still don't think he should be almost minus 200. I'd probably have him minus 130. Like, I think this and the Amil fight are the two hardest fights on the card to predict. So take that as you will. Again, I think this is an easier pick than the Amil fight, but I still think this ain't no easy pick because it's two dudes you really can't trust. One dude's inactive, one dude's has some big flaws in his game. It's a hard one to predict, but who am I going to go with here? Again, give me RoboCop. He should win this fight. I think he's a better fighter. He's much younger. He's more well-rounded. He should win, knock on wood. Again, I said that about his other two losses in the UFC, so take that as you will. Give me RoboCop by... Might lean a decision, because I feel like it's going to be a grind-out fight. I feel like this is just a really grind-out fight that's going to be kind of... just not really entertaining, because Hermansson's just going to be spam takedowning. I could see a ground and pound finish. I wouldn't be too surprised by that. But it's UFC in 2025, so more than likely RoboCop's just going to lay on him for 15 minutes. So maybe I'll change my pick later, but more than likely I'm going to probably go Gregory Rodrigues by decision. Again, he'll probably just lay on Hermansson. So, hopefully I'm wrong. I hope he puts Hermansson out in 2 minutes. That'd be sweet. But more than likely, I'm going to go RoboCop by decision. Probably going to stop takedowns to lay on him and win. So, kind of what he did to COD. So, give me Gregory Rodrigues by decision, but I would not be shocked at the upset. 50-50 co-main. Should be interesting. But give me Obamacare to get the W. And, boom, those are the prelims, only an hour, and, not a bad prelims. Like, if you look at it like this, outside of the Cortez fight, which is a Cortez fight, the other 4 fights are pretty solid. And the other 2 early prelims are not great, but what can you really do? This is a solid early prelims. This is kinda International Fight Week level. Probably should have a few more fights on it, But overall, this, and this are not too bad, so can't complain too much. Looks like it should be fun. Hopefully it is. I have faith in Price, McKinney, Delgado, and Rodrigues to give us something good. So let's see if they do on these prelims for IFW. So let's see, man. Let's see. But now, enough rambling. We're an hour in on the dot. So let's get into the main card. 5 more fights to break down from Las Vegas this International Fight Week. So let's not waste any more time. We're already an hour in. We have 5 more fights to break down. So let's do it. As we'll begin with our main card opener that did get moved up to the main card thanks to Paulo Costa being a fucking idiot, like always, and still somehow being on the roster. As we have in our main card opener in the bantamweight division, a prospect battle that to an extent I'm happy is on the main card, but still shouldn't be. As we have to open UFC 317 International Fight Week, as we have Payton Talbott versus Jungle Boy Felipe Lima. Again, not a great main card opener. Thanks, Paulo, for pulling out of the fight like you always do, you fucking clown. But I don't know, it's okay. I would probably say Slava Claus and McKinney should have got the main card spot, because I think or even you can make a case for Rodrigues. But I get why they picked this one. Talbott's the name. People remember him for being that fruity dude who got fraud checked. And Lima is a guy a lot of people don't know, but they're gonna know after Saturday because he's fucking good. So I get it, but I get why this got the pick. But again, this is on International Fight Week's pay-per-view. Let's just go back 2 years ago. What was opening the pay-per-view? What, Dan Hooker and Jalen Turner? So come on, people. This is not good. But we'll still talk about it. So let's do it. We'll begin with our first main card fighter, the very fruity Payton Talbott. 3-1 in the UFC coming off Contender Series. In his first 3 UFC fights, he ran through Nick Aguirre, Cameron Simon, and Yanis Gamori. And then he got completely fraud checked and destroyed versus Raoni Barcelos. And now he's back, all from January to June. It's funny he's fighting in Pride Month, to see how he does against Felipe. Yeah, long story short, Payton, he's a fraud. Like, he is a good striker, but if you bring him to a grappling match, he really just has nothing. Why would Felipe do anything besides what Raoni did? I guess that what I would say here is the long and short of this fight. So, yeah, Payton's just not that great. He's a great striker. Guy could power. But if he can't actually strike with you, if you actually make him grapple, he's a fish out of water. So, yeah, he got fraud checked. He's one of the biggest fraud checks of the year, of all time. People, if you look up fraud check on YouTube, he's in a lot of thumbnails for a reason. He was meant to be the new O'Malley and all that bullshit, but he's just not good. Malcolm Wellmaker is what he was meant to be. Talbott, instead, is just that O'Malley wannabe. And then to talk about his opponent, the criminally underrated, but finally going to get some respect after this week, Felipe Lima. Felipe in the UFC is 2-0, coming off a short notice, coming off a short notice debut against Muhammad Naimov. He looked great. He dominated him. He subbed him late. He looked good in that fight. Then against Miles Johns, he had another really well-rounded, good performance. Beat him up pretty easily. And now he's 2-0 in the UFC. Finally fighting down at bantamweight after 2 fights up at featherweight. And now we finally get to see Felipe in his natural weight class. Man, the one saving factor of this fight being on the main card is people are going to finally learn who the fuck Felipe Lima is, because this kid is good. 14-1, 27 years old, well-rounded. He's a decent striker. He's a great grappler. He's a good-ass fighter. Like, he's good. He's a name people are going to be, like, I've been saying it all week, and I'll continue saying it. He's going to be a name people remember after this week. Like, he's really fucking good, and I'm happy he got a fight like this in the spot that is on the card, because this kid deserves a lot of hype, and he will be getting that well-maker, what Talbott had, etc., hype after this, especially if he dominates Talbott on pay-per-view, and if he finishes him. This kid's gonna get a lot of hype, and he deserves all of it, because he is really fucking good from day one. And you can't even say, oh, like, Talbott has terrible wins. Lima actually has some good wins. Muhammad Naimov, we just saw win last week. I don't like Naimov, but he's not awful. And Miles Johns, who's always been a pretty solid guy in the division, so he already has good wins. Now add another one to the list. This kid's good, man. This kid is really good, and I'm happy he's getting the spotlight he deserves, because he's fucking good. The betting odds for this fight have Felipe Lima minus 180 to plus 145. I think he might be minus 200 by now, and he should be. I don't even remember the odds got closer or farther, but if they got closer, that's bullshit. People just don't know who Lima is. If people actually went back and watched Lima or watched him live, you know Lima's going to win this fight. Like, he should be like minus 200, 250. He's going to win this fight. He is scary good. Talbott is not. And again, I look at it this way. I said it before. Why would Lima do anything besides what Hyoni did? Just grappling. Now, so Payton went from an old grappler to a younger version. Like, Lima's going to just throw him on the ground. If Lima tries to have a striking match, he's a fucking idiot. It's that simple. If Lima tries to strike with him, he's a fucking idiot. But I don't think he's going to do that. I think Lima's going to have a brain, and he's going to grapple Payton. And when he does, Payton's just not going to have much for him, just like he did for Hyoni, and it's going to be another loss for Payton. So, give me Felipe Lima by decision. He should easily beat Talbott. Does he finish him? Probably not. More than likely not, but you never know. It's a 50-50 chance if he decides to submit him or not. But what I do know is this is going to be an interesting one. This is going to be a very interesting one, and it's going to be Felipe Lima's coming out party. Not like that, Payton. We know how you want to come out. So, give me Felipe Lima by decision. Yeah, this kid's going to get the hype he actually deserves after this, and I'm very, very happy for him, so. Felipe Lima by decision, and what should be a weak, but at least a good for Felipe main card opener. After that, we go to our second fight of the main card in the lightweight division, a division that, again, like I said earlier, very important and busy on this card. You never know what could happen. We saw what happened last time this fight was booked, right? So, you never know what might happen in that main event. But hopefully the second time's a charm here, and we finally get to see this fight after it was going to happen back in January. As we have in our second fight of the main card, a old man battle at lightweight. That's finally going to happen, hopefully, between Beneil, Dariush versus Renato, Moicano, motherfuckers. I'm not gonna say a lot here because I broke this fight down back in January, when it was booked the first time, and that's when Moicano had to step in for Arman because Arman's a fucking idiot, and he fought Islam, did pretty good, yada yada. So the link to that breakdown and more in-depth breakdown for this fight will be in top right now. And, yeah, if you want to go see that, it will be there, but I'll just give you a Cliff Notes version. Beneil's at the end of his career. Moicano is hungry. He still has a little bit of fire left. He's trying to make that money. And, again, the dude dropped fucking Islam Makhachev, so I think he should beat Beneil Dariush. Like, I think Moicano's a better striker at this point. He's as good, if not better, on the ground. He actually has submissions to worry about. Cardio's probably better. He's been more active. We've not seen Benny in 2 years. Give me Renato Moicano by decision. I think that's the pick I had before. That's the pick I'm going to stay with. He should win this fight. Benny's terrible. He was never good. I always called him out for just being a meme more than a fighter. And, yeah, give me Moicano by decision. No one actually was a fan of Beneil. No one actually thinks he was good, because he never was. And he's going to take his last L here and probably retire. Give me Renato Moicano by decision. He needs money, motherfuckers. And he's gonna get that by beating Beneil Dariush. And, yeah, pretty simple. No reason to break down a fight I have not changed my opinion on since it was booked in January. After that, we go to our third fight of the main card, the best fight of the main card, the best fight on the card. A banger. Let me say that one more time for you. A banger. Maybe one more time just to feel nice. A banger in the flyweight division. The fight of the night. Just give it to them now. The fight of the year. Good possibility of that. In the flyweight division. A short notice replacement, but it's going to be a great one. It's a better fight than the original. As we have in our third fight of the main card, our featured bout, whatever the fuck that means. In the flyweight division. The only important good fight at flyweight on this card. We have Brandon Raw Dog Royval versus Joshua the Fearless Van. Yes, yeah, you heard that correctly. Josh Van is already back after beating Bruno Silva 2 weeks ago. Or 3 weeks ago. Why? Because Manel Kopp pulled out. I don't even need to show it, you know I'm right. Manel Kopp was meant to fight Brandon Royval, he pulled out, and Josh Van stepped in. Like, a day or two after his fucking win against Bruno Silva. So, here we go. This is gonna be a banger. I am so excited for this fight. Again, the best fight on the card. Easily could be fight of the night. Probably will be. Could easily be a fight of the year contender. Good chance it will be. I cannot wait. This is gonna be great. Let's talk about it, as we'll begin with the higher ranked and the veteran of the two here, Raw Dog Royval. 32 years old, 7-3 in the UFC, just like I think it was RoboCop. His wins in the UFC have been Tim Elliott, Kai Kara-France, Rodrigo Bontorin, Matt Schnell, Mateus Nicolau, Brandon Moreno, and Tatsuro Taira. He has lost to Brandon Moreno, Pantoja, and Pantoja. Royval's great. We know Royval's great. He's a great striker. He's a really good striker, good power. His cardio is insane. I think he trains up in Denver, so he has an insane cardio. He's well-rounded. Well, he's not well-rounded. His defensive grappling's pretty shit. His offensive grappling's subpar, but defensively, yeah, he has no grappling. But his striking where it's at, he's pretty much a bantamweight, if we're being honest. With his build, he could easily be a bantamweight, and he's the way bigger fighter here. He's good. He's #1 ranked in the division for a reason. If Pantoja didn't already beat him twice, then Royval would be probably fighting for the belt here. But a win here, and you got no choice but to give him another shot, I would imagine. So, let's see what happens, man. Royval taking a ginormous risk here, fighting I think, a 12th ranked guy on short notice. But when Manel Kopp never makes it to a fight, you kind of got no choice. Let's see what happens. Raw Dog. Can he save his spot? Can he prove this was a good idea? Let's find out. Can he earn that #1 contenders fight? Let's find out. Coming off win against Taira and Moreno. Everything points to it being yes. But then you remember who he's fighting. Because he's fighting the insane, but God is he awesome, the active as fuck, Ariana's, I think, 3rd fight of 2025, the fearless, clearly, Joshua Van, 23 years old, 7-1 in the UFC. Again, already hit 3rd fight of the year. Kevin Holland's sweating, because he's starting to get close to Kevin Holland's record. 7 wins in UFC, all have been Zulgas Sumagulov, Kevin Borjas, Felipe Bunis, Edgar Shirez, Cody Durden, Ray Saruya, and Bruno Silva. His only loss in the UFC was to the great Charles Johnson, in a fight he was actually doing pretty good in. Charles needed to finish, Josh Van just kind of slipped up. It happens, what can you do? God, Josh Van is amazing. So, like, he had that early UFC run where he beat up a few bad fighters. He took that Charles Johnson L. But since that Johnson L, his wins have actually got really good. Edgar Shirez in that banger at Noche. That was a great fight. Edgar Shirez is a good win. Cody Durden completely wiped the floor of him. Pretty good win. Ray Saruya, undefeated dude. Did what he could. Guy wouldn't fight him, but he still easily beat him. Took his O. Good win. Bruno Silva 3 weeks ago, top 15 dude, has a lot of power, just wiped the floor with them. Josh Van is good. Again, I'll say it every time, he reminds me of Piotr Jan. He is not really a round 1 guy, but in round 2 and 3, he really turns it on, and he just goes at you. Don't know if that's going to work against Royval, a guy who doesn't gas. But, I don't know. Like, this kid's insane. I swear I break down one of his fights every goddamn week. He's flyweight Kevin Holland, and God is he fucking good. Josh Van, man, big chance here. And I want to just give her to this notion now, if he loses, this is not a bad thing for him. Like, so, if he loses this, he lost to the number 1 ranked guy on short notice. Where's the bad part of that? He's playing with house money. He has nothing to lose here. If he wins, he gets a title shot. If he loses, oh no, he's gonna go back to beat up fucking Takir Ulanbekov or some bullshit. Like, there's no losing for Joshua Van here. He's in a win-win. So, let's see, man. Let's see how he does against the hardest fight of his career. Let's see how he does. Can he... If he wins this, bro, that'd be fucking insane if he won this. If he loses, it sucks, but what can you do? He said yes to a crazy fight on short notice. And he lost. There's really no shame in that. Let's see what happens with Myanmar's favorite son, the fearless Joshua Van, in a fight where he really can't lose. So, I cannot wait. The Beneil vs. fight have Renato Royval as a tiny favorite. Yeah, the odds have always been weird for this fight ever since it was booked. The odds have always been around a pick'em. Either a pick'em or Josh Van was the favorite. I like Van. There's no world he should be the favorite here. I think Royval should be minus 150. 99% chance Royval should win this fight. He's bigger. He's more experienced. We saw Van's only loss, it was to Charles Johnson, so now he's fighting a guy who's also pretty long and lengthy and very good. We'll see. I'm so excited for this fight. I cannot fucking wait. This is gonna be dope. Again, more than likely Brandon Royval is going to win this fight. But, just like Araujo, I'm going to put in a fun pick. I don't give a fuck. Give me Joshua Van by decision. I'm putting my pick in as the fearless, because if he wins this, that'd be batshit insane. Give me Josh Van in what should be a banger. I highly doubt he wins. Trust me, I highly doubt he wins. But, imagine by the end of the year he's fighting for the belt. Come on, man. Come on. Give me Josh Van by decision to beat Brandon Royval in what should be a banger. Again, I highly doubt he actually will. I think Royval is going to win, but I don't think it's going to be easy. This is going to be a war. Both guys are going to leave this fight very bloody, very sore, very injured, and I cannot wait. Fight of the night, Joshua Van, you're a legend. Give me Joshua Van by decision, even though I highly doubt he wins. Give me Van the man. Cannot wait to see this. If Royval wins, it's cool, because who doesn't like Brandon Royval? But give me Van by decision. Gotta be a little biased. Let's go. After that, not gonna waste time here. Not even gonna click on it, doesn't deserve it. Kai Kara, please win. This guy's a joke. One of the worst champions I've ever seen. He lost to Steve Erceg. Kai, please win. Kai Kara France by decision, my pick. Fuck Pantoja. Time for the main event of the evening. In the lightweight division for the vacated UFC Lightweight Championship of the World, thanks to Islam running away like a bitch, we have to end International Fight Week, the main event for the title. A fight that is okay, it's not International Fight Week worthy, but it's alright. Big fight, a legend versus probably a future legend. We have to end International Fight Week, to end UFC 317, to crown a new lightweight champion, because Islam's a bitch. We have in our main event, Ilia El Matador Topuria versus Charles the Bronx Oliveira. Well, thanks to Islam being a bitch and running from Ilia, now Ilia has to KO poor Charles. Damn. Yeah, not a great main event. Like, we all know what's gonna happen, and it's gonna suck, but what can you do? One of the weakest International Fight Week main events of all time. That's the one thing you gotta give last year's. It was better. This is Sad. Sad for Charlie. We all know it should be Sarukian and Ilia, but that sells no tickets. And I don't know. I don't know. This will be fun for as long as it lasts, but just gonna be sad to see a legend get put into a fucking coffin by a young, hungry matador who made Islam run away to lightweight, or welterweight, I mean, so. Yeah, like, we all know Ilia's moving up from featherweight. He doesn't want to make that cut anymore. There's really nothing else for him to do down there anyway. He could have beat Diego Lopez if he wanted to, or Volk again, but what's the point? Now he's like, oh, I'm going to move up and win another bout. For the Bronx, he's on his last legs. He's trying to get one more bout before he retires. He's 34 years old. 35 years old, my bad. This is his last chance at winning a bout, maybe his last fight in general. One of the greatest of all time, pure legend through and through, but ever since that Islam fight, he's not really looked like himself. Even in the Dariush fight, he looked good, but that's because Dariush is shit. I don't know, like, we know, like, how does Charles win this fight? Is he gonna knock out Ilia? Unlikely. Is he gonna submit Ilia? Probably not. Like, I've looked at this fight the whole time as I think this is gonna be a closer version of Ilia and Bryce Mitchell. He's going to beat him up on the feet and probably eventually clip him. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if he submitted Charles, to be honest, but like Islam did. Because all Islam had to do there is make Charles quit, and he did. So, you're saying Ilia couldn't? So, I don't know. It sucks to talk about Charles like this, because dude is a legend. I remember his title run, watching every fight live. It was amazing. Again, one of the greatest lightweights of all time, one of the greatest fighters of all time. But every fighter had this due date, and that's 35 years old. With a 2-2 in the last 4 fight UFC record. Did not look that good against Michael Chandler. Did not win that Armand fight, but did okay. Fighting a dude who's just KO'd to the greatest of all time back to back. Why not put another head on your mantle? So, I hate to say it, but give me Ilia Topuria by knockout in the second. He should put Charles in a body bag, which is sad to say because no one wants to see that, but it's just what's meant to happen. Ilia's in his prime. Charles had his prime. Charles, 5 years ago, if you put Charles from 5 years ago in this fight, we're having a really interesting debate. But it's not 2021 anymore. It's 2025, and Charles just does not have it. So, give me Ilia Topuria by knockout in the second. He should win this fight. Again, it sucks to say that. No one wants to see him win this fight. We all want to see Charles win, get the belt again, yada yada yada. But it just won't happen. I hope I'm wrong. Trust me, I hope I'm wrong. I hope the betting odds are wrong. Ilia of minus 420. It's hard to disagree. This man could be minus 500. But at the end of the day, we gotta be realistic after a while. So, give me El Matador to get his second belt in the UFC, be a double champion. Give me Ilia by knockout in the second. It's gonna suck to see Charles go out, either by submission or by knockout. And sad to say, man. Again, I want to be wrong. Let me say it again. I want Charles Oliveira to win this fight. It'd be way better. I'd be so fucking happy for a legend. But is he going to win this fight? No. He's probably going to get beat up and retire. So, if he retires, maybe he sticks around, but if he's not going for the belt anymore, I don't see him fighting. So, give me Ilia by knockout in a second to send Charles into a weird spot in his career, maybe the end of it. And this motherfucker just has to keep KOing legends. Fucking Ilia, man. He just keeps backing up everything he says. So fucking annoying, but gotta respect it. Give me Ilia by knockout in a second to end International Fight Week with a sad bang. As always, to end the breakdown with a boom, that's the card. To over my picks one more time. Alvin Hines by decision. Jacobe Smith, my lock of the night, by knockout in the first. Terrance McKinney by knockout in the first. Viviane Araujo by decision. Jose Delgado by decision. Gregory Rodrigues by decision. Felipe Lima by decision, Renato Moicano by decision, Joshua Van by decision, Kaikar France, please win by decision, and Ilia Topoya by knockout in the second. Bang. It's a card. It's a card. It's one of the shittiest international fight weeks of all time. But that's what we really have came to expect from the UFC at this point. Low quality. So, again, like, if you really look at this card, the prelims are its saving point. That McKinney and Delgado fight are good. Royval and Van are really the saving points. Ilia and Charles should be alright. The co-main sucks. Dariush and Moicano, that's a featured prelim, if we're being honest. Lima and Talbott is a joke on a main card. Tracy Cortez, come on. Jhonata Diniz. So, it's a card. Weakest international fight week of all time, but I don't know. As a card, it's still okay. As an international fight week, it's garbage. So, it sucks to say that because this is meant to be the card of the year, but it just ain't. So, it sucks. But hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully this card's amazing and it's the best international fight week of all time. I doubt it, but you never know. We'll find that out on the recap Sunday, as always. Sometime on Sunday, either early or late. I don't know, probably late. As we recap what the fuck happened on this crazy card. So that's the next time you'll hear me in video form. Next time you'll see me on stream is tonight, later in the night, to do some more talking about UFC 317 before the big event. And then, of course, tomorrow after the card, I'll be doing a live after party to talk about all the crazy bullshit that happened live right after it happened. And then, of course, Sunday, yada yada, you know my schedule. I don't even know my schedule, so yeah. But yeah, that's about that, man. UFC 317 breakdown in the books, an hour and a half. Shocked it was. That's sad that International Fight Week's only an hour and a half to talk about. But again, hopefully the recap's better. Hopefully the card's great, and hopefully Charles wins. So it's unlikely as fuck, but let's hope. So with that being said, not really much else to say, man. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you enjoy International Fight Week. Hope we all enjoy the card of the UFC. So we'll see. I hate picking so many decisions again, but how many fights you actually see being a finish? That, like, maybe Lima gets a finish, maybe Hines gets a finish, maybe maybe Obama gets a finish. That's about it. So that's about that. I'm done talking, my voice hurts. I'm ending this video like I always do by saying I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. 200 subs goal by the end of 2025. And unless I'm getting to say something, which I don't believe I am, see y'all later tonight for some live streaming about this bullshit. If you want to throw your opinion out there, I'll be all ears later. But for right now, as always, RX out. Good vibes only. And weak ass IFW. Always.